We're up to another part of our conversation with John Anderson. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music.
90125, going into that project as John Anderson, the lead singer of Yes, when you guys started with Owner of a Lonely Heart, that's your biggest song on Spotify, and then Roundabout is after that. But did you have reservations about that? Because no matter who you ask, if you say Yes and say Owner of a Lonely Heart, everyone knows that song.
No, I was in south of France working on a piece of music about the fairy kingdom, the Divic world, as one does, and music about Marc Chagall, one of the greatest painters in the history of art from Russia. I met him on his 90th birthday. So I was down there doing a lot of very interesting stuff that I believed in. And then I went to London for a weekend, see my kids and everything, and Chris called me and came round in his car and played me some music. And I totally, it just went like that in my head. I went, because I was very interested in Trevor Horn's production on Duck Rock, which was an album by Malcolm McLaren, very adventurous, sample sounds and things like that. So here I was listening to Owner of a Lonely Heart, fireworks. And I said, what is this? Isn't that, it's samples, So I listened to it, and I thought the verses weren't really happening in the song. The chorus was a hit. It was just the melody in the song was just... Owner of a long, And a couple of other songs needed help. Because I said to him, Chris, he asked me, would I be interested in singing on it? I said, well, if I did, then it's yes, isn't it? He said, yeah, that's what we want, I said, okay. So I had a cassette of everything and spent the next 3 weeks singing. And the first day I just walked in with Trevor, met him for the first time. We started writing. I said, the groove is so strong, you can't sort of like that. You got to go da-da-da. Da 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 sort of thing. Move yourself. You always live your life, never thinking of the future. You got to get your act together because you're going to be the owner of a lonely heart. And that was fun because I just spent Trevor Horn as well, and I was very excited about the album. Really, I just thought it was sounding good. It was going to be a hit. My life had changed completely. I felt good to be back in Yes.
Yeah. And
that was good.
The new album took a lot of years to make, a lot of travels in there, a lot of adventures. Why, and I know everyone's asking this question, but it's a pink elephant question, why so long?
Well, it was very simple, really, because I have a friend called Brian Chatton. He was in my first band, The Warriors. He joined the Warriors when he was 16, and we've kept up a friendship all this time. And in 1990, I was in LA finishing a project, and then I decided to go up into the mountains of Big Bear and record. And I got Brian to come with me, and he'd written some music and things, keyboard player. So we brought up a couple of other people from LA, friends, Gary Barlow and Keith Hefner, great keyboard player, and started recording these songs. And I actually took a tape down to LA and got Chris Squire and Alan White to play on them. So 2 songs. And I thought, that's the key to this album. I'll just get people like Wayne Shorter or the Beach Boys to sing on it. All these kind of people I love to join in with this album. But then as things happen, it just wasn't going to happen because Brian went that way after 2 months chasing a girl. And then I went on tour with Kitaro, Japanese composer, because I'd sang 2 songs on his album. And just went on tour for the next 26 years. And I put the tapes in my garage, and I'd see them now and again, collecting dust. And then 2 years ago, Michael Franklin, the producer, who knew Brian Chatton, and he'd actually worked with Brian trying to make them into commercial records, and they didn't sound so good. So he called me and said, John, I've got some more money to finish the album. And I said, what album? And he said, the one you started in Big Bear. And so I sent him the tapes, and these are big, they're 2-inch tapes,
Yeah.
And you have to bake them. You have to put them in an oven at a certain, like a cake.
Look what I have back there. Look what I have back there, big reel-to-reel. I know all about baking tapes.
Hey, it's a Revox. Is it a Revox?
It's a Studer.
Looks like an old
it's a Studer 807. It's very expensive.
Classy. Well, then we transferred it straight to, he did this in Orlando. That's where his studio is. And before he sent me the mixes, he already got Ian Anderson to play on, Ian from Jethro Tull, to play on one track. And that kind of freaked me out. And I said, Michael, how many people do you know? He said, well, let me tell you something. Me and my brother Tim, we toured with Chuck Berry for 15 years. We'd met everybody.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, can imagine that. So he said, who would you like to play on it? And I said, well, definitely my favorite drummer of all time is Billy Cobham. He was with Mahavishnu Orchestra. We became friends of a sort, And Jean-Luc Ponty, I just played with him 3 years ago. We toured together. And he said, well, I know Chick Corea. I said, there you go. Chick Corea, who is like jackpot, And over a course of 2.5 months, this was like September, October of 2018. So basically, we got the album finished last Christmas before last, 2018. And I was expecting to put the album out in 2019. So I got myself a band of musicians from Orlando area, and they just like a dream, seriously good. And but we couldn't find a record company. Even Atlantic Records turned me down. So I thought, hey, my mantra has been over the past 10 years, it'll happen when it happens. Don't panic. So that's the way it is,
That's so strange because the album's so strong. I keep listening. I was listening to it when they first sent it to me, and I listened to it again this morning of going, it's just one adventure after another, and it's big, and it's bold, and it wakes you up inside. I'm going, what was wrong with them?
I know. Well, like in the old days of record companies, they just look after the top 10 people in their company because they're the money makers. And then they bring in somebody young now and again, But, I just don't mind. You get to that point in your life, I just know that the music was created with heart and soul, and I really love it. And Michael Franklin, the producer, did an incredible job of mixing. Because what he would do, he'd send me mixes, and then I'd just analyze it and go, okay, just turn the voice up a bit. Or just do this a little bit. And then he'd change. I said, that's it. We got it. It's very, very good to work with somebody who understands my mind, to a certain point anyway.
Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. And buy a t-shirt, help support our channel. Link in the description of this video. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music.